Hey, welcome. This is Coach Jay, and we're continuing on with Journey Junction. You know, this our popular podcast video production where we talk about how to self-improve, how we look at self-awareness and self-development. And today we want to talk about the power of the why, your compass to self-improvement. That's right, the why. Have you ever thought about the why? What's significant about the word why? Through history, philosophers have pondered on the question why. It's a quest for understanding, for the meaning. That's right. When you ask why, it's not just for the answer, it's for seeking understanding. Did I just say understanding? How many times do we sit back and make decisions or have conversations where we don't ask the why? I mean, really, we just have conversation just going on, and somebody give us a decision that they made, or they begin to have a topic of discussion, and we never really get engaged because we never ask the why. What if I speak today, and that's one of our things we're trying to do, is try to encourage you to look at things from a different perspective. And today's perspective is looking at, why don't you answer or ask the question why? Why are you so prompt to jump out and just move with the bare information that they give you, or just a reasonable amount of knowledge that you have pertaining to a particular situation or concern, and you automatically decide to engage and begin to share a conversation when you really don't know the whole backdrop of the question or the position or the issue that you're facing? Therefore, why are you not asking the why? Why are you not having a conversation about how do you really look at the way that you're processing different things in your day-to-day activities, and why that maybe this might be the outcome for why you're not achieving the goals and objectives that you had? Have you ever thought about that? I mean, we spend so much time trying to find answers, but the first answer I think that we should try to eliminate is the question or the quest for why. When you ask yourself about why, you're digging deep, peeling back off the layers of motivation, desires, and fears. Ultimately, a tool for introspection. It is. Think about it. If you begin to understand the reason for the why, then maybe it will cause you to look at things from different angles. For example, someone come up to you, say, you need to wash your car. Now, your car is extremely dirty, but does the dirt on the car stop performance? Does the dirt on the car cause any hazard? Does the dirt on the car causes you to have an inability of getting in the car? So why should I make these changes? Why? I mean, if my windows are dirty and I can't see out of them, or things of that nature, is that the only reason that I'm really looking at washing my car, other than for appearance-wise? Maybe it looks good surrounded with other people's cars who are cleaner than mine. But if there's no obstruction to my vision or my interest into it, or way that I put fuel or change the oil to it, do I really have to be concerned on what your view is when it comes to that particular thing? I don't know. But don't it depends on how your makeup is? If you're one of the people that like your car clean, and that maybe they're just saying that as a reminder because they're always used to seeing your car in its immaculate presentation, I'm saying. Or is it just maybe they don't like to see your dirty car beside them? Again, a little small question, why? Why should I even consider taking the time to address your concern? And I just use that one. But there's nothing wrong with that, because if I feel that you give me wise counseling, then maybe that might be one of the reasons why I should consider the why question for me and the why question towards what my next action would be. Why is a key component in the decision making. There are two parts. We look at beyond the surface choices and the rippling effect behind choices. And what that means is when you're facing decisions, you asking why is to reveal you the truth motivation. Are you choosing for fear or desire or obligation? Three things when you look at answering why. And they probably can go into many more things, but just for the sake of this discussion here, I'm looking at the why as true motivation, or maybe true fear, or the desire or obligation. Well, maybe I should have said 4 instead of 3. But when you look at your why, if we're looking at why and we're going with motivation, why am I doing this? Why am I deciding that this is a key element that is needed for my next level of ... Or why am I doing this? Because this is the end result, or this could be the end result. Or am I feeling that I need to do this because of the place and the position that I am? I have to make this happen, so I should ask the why. Or is it just a desire to know? And then, as last, we always feel some type of obligation. Either or. Don't you think that in this time in our life and as we're going to try to self-improve, that we owe it to ourselves to get more information, to feel confident in our day-to-day activities and our decision making? Shouldn't we feel like we have a certain obligation not only to the listener or the person that we're interacting with, but to ourselves? Don't you feel that in some cases that you have maybe made decisions based off in this current situation you're in, what I called before, you hear it many times, when I'm in survival mode, I make different decisions when I'm not. Versus when I have time to plan out and execute, I make better, well-rounded decisions because I go through the process of asking myself why. Whereas when I'm in survival mode, why is not an option. I need to just react. Therefore, I'm giving up the area or the placement of proactive. I'd rather fall in reactive or retroactive because of the fact the situation dictates my outcome. Again, what if we start asking the why? That why, believe it or not, could be the difference between you reacting and being proactive. The why may cause you to begin to plan and begin to schedule. And because of our decision not to address our why or address it after the situation is upon us, we have a ripple effect. Every decision is considers or creates a ripple. It just weighs. Think about it. Why? There's one ripple. Why not? Why should I? And then what will become of this? And how will this affect? See, now it starts going into other facets of your decision making, all because of one ripple that was started. And if you don't do the why, then there is still a ripple that's going to be created, regardless if you ask the why or not, because life does not matter to you if you ask it or not. It's only for our self-awareness and our self-improvement, because the why brings peace to us, that we can say we made our decision based off, and it creates a means for knowledge, a platform to stand on, and a reassurance that we are making decisions for ourselves, or the outcome is based on because we didn't make decisions for ourselves. And then we have the why conversation. Then we're going to go with two. It's a deepened connection and challenging our assumptions. A deeper connection. When we ask why in the conversation, we're showing genuine interest. We're inviting deeper sharing, fostering empathy, and understanding. Yes, we're letting somebody know when they begin to have conversations with sharing this knowledge or whatever the task assignments, whatever it is they're sharing with us. When we ask the why, we're letting them know we hear you, we engage, but we're trying to see how this information is beneficial to some of the things that we may be facing for the decision that we're currently in, or the obligation that we're currently committed to. We want to know so we can help you better assess your situation, not only ours. Asking the why. And then the challenging our assumption is also a tool for growth. By asking others why, we can challenge our own assumptions and belief, opening ourselves to new perspective. Key things is new perspective. If you're taking the time to ask someone, and I remember when I was doing my dissertation for my PhD, I remember my chair saying this thing to me, and it moved me so much because it became the key or the catalyst for my success through the dissertation process. And then I carried it over into my life, because now I know it may sound kind of negative when I say this, as if I was talking to you in a conversation, but it brings meaning to me. And she said this thing. She said, whatever you do, the only thing I want to know is, why should I care? At first, I couldn't embrace that because it sounds so negative. Why should I care? I'm like, you should care because of the fact that you're supposed to be helping me navigate through the process. But see, I missed the meaning of what she was really saying. She was not being negative. She was trying to provoke me to get an understanding that there needs to be enough knowledge and enough surface and platform to build my dissertation on, because I want to eliminate anyone questioning why this has to be a part of their day-to-day activity or their reading, or future scholars of the world to read it. Why do I care? Or why should I care? That made me, it frustrated me. It did. Because at that time I could not answer it. But instead of me taking it as a negative, which I did at first, I began to look at it from different angles. Again, for the first time, I opened up my perspective. I had to deal with, why would she say such a negative thing to a student who is trying to achieve something that she has established? Then the light bulb came on. She's trying to get me to understand the principles of why. You have to build the foundation, you have to provide the knowledge, and you have to be able to answer the questions to what others may come about when you're trying to present something to them for the first time. Here's where it is. Present something to the first time. Any conversation that you have, you're gaining knowledge. You're gaining conversation, regardless good or bad, you're gaining something that you're standing on. And from that, you begin to build upon. In some cases, it's a belief system. Some places are core values. Some places just the way that you process. But either or, these new challenges or these assumptions or these beliefs begin to carve into how you make your decisions, how you govern your life, and how you move over. So my first thing is, why should I care? Why should I care? I had to get this conversation to be meaningful to me. I want to be selfish with my actions and my thought, not being demeaning or belittling anybody, but I want to know, why am I giving all my time to this individual to share their now revelation, their belief, their assumptions, their whatever, and why should I, want to engage into it? Look what I'm doing. I'm asking the why, because I'm asking myself, do I believe that the substance now that's going to be released to this conversation, is it going to be beneficial to what I am trying to achieve in this current thing? Now, there's a difference to just have a conversation and laugh and da-da-da. I'm talking about when I'm in the process of building and restructuring to obtain whatever my objective is, where I'm looking at my decision making in the process, and this information that they're giving me, is it valuable to what I need to have in order for me to make a more logical decision on my day-to-day activity? These are the questions that my why brings about. And as I said, why, we can see the why as a platform for action. Two things. It's a driven purpose and overcoming obstacles. Two sections. See, when we're looking at drive person, our actions are most powerful when they're driven by a strong why. It's the fuel behind our passion and the wind beneath our wings. It is. It's driven when you have a strong conviction of the why. Just like I just said, when that example I gave you, having a conversation with someone at this hour, especially when you're in a part of process and you're looking at this individual for wise counseling or stern foundation or building efforts. You want to make sure that this is not a wasted time where someone is not knowledgeable or someone is not competent in the area of your quest or your situation, or they've been through it and they don't know how to articulate it, whatever it may be. And it's not being judgmental. It's being you're valuing people's time and you're valuing the efforts that they're trying to bring forth. But at the same time, you're looking for something that they may or may not possess. And the only way you can do is begin to ask yourself the why. Because remember, it's the fuel of your passion. I am stuck in a current situation where I got to make a decision between A and B. And I've got 4 or 5 people that I talk to who I believe who have been through enough life challenges that in the past has brought me wise counseling. So now I am sitting with these individuals. But before I sit with them, I ask the first question, why should I even involve these people in my decision making? I check that off. Then why should I choose this one or the other? Why shouldn't I eliminate one of the 4? Or why should I sit and speak to all 4 of them? There it is, another step. And then you always ask yourself, what am I expecting to get out of it? But then, am I having expectations for these individuals that may not exceed what my end goal is? I have to prepare for that. And then, why are you engaging or placing yourself in a position where you're completely vulnerable? You're vulnerable, and because you're going in looking for them to provide an answer that may not exist from them because they may not be knowledgeable of it, or what you're asking is out of time and out of season. So all the little small whys should bring up other questions. Why? Maybe to what? Or to how? Or to who? See, why is your bridge to different questions, and these different questions get answers, and guess what it does? It brings a new reality, a new relationship to why you value these people's conversation, or why you need to do other steps to help you to achieve these goals and objectives. Think about it. If why leads you to a how, then you have to answer that before you can go to any other place. Or it changes you to a what, then you address that. And then always to a who. If all three of them begins to do anything, it should bring you to a place where you're obtaining more information and solidify or secure the reason why you're having this conversation. Just a few thoughts for you. So I enjoyed. I'm hoping that I shared something with you. As we wrap up today's journey, I want to challenge you to ask why more often. Let it be the guide for your teaching, for your development, for your awareness. Whether you're at a crossroad or in conversation, or taking a leap of faith, let your why eliminate your path. Eliminate your path. It should be illuminate, but I don't know why I got eliminate, so bear with me. We'll scratch that later. But it should be illuminating your path. It should be able to be the light to the platform to why you make your decisions. So I want you to continue to look at your life and find the answers that you need. If the why provokes you to go to the other three, the what, the when, and the how, and you can get those answers, you can build substance on it, good job. So until I talk to you, this is Coach Jay. Look forward to being a friend with you. Let's keep on. Ask yourself the why.